conference will now be recorded.
So everybody's on but Mr. Simcoe, correct?
Yes.
Well, we're not going to get on yet.
And it looks
Hello?
like Mr. Simcoe's joined.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, everybody's on?
I think I'm here. Oliver?
But we seem to have a lot of static, Oliver.
I can hear him, but hello?
There we go.
That's better. Okay, I think everybody's back on the line. So I'll move that we come out of executive session. I have 5:43.
Do we have a second?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, that was Mr. Genowine, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, we'll call the roll. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, there's one thing I'd like to just run by the board and get a feel. I wonder if there's any way we could go back to meetings in person. We normally don't get that many people at our meetings, and it would be easy for us to separate people in our boardroom. I don't know about you guys, but the static here sure bothers me on these meetings. And I wonder if Mr. Turner could check in. I know we might be over 10, but I even doubt that. But even if we were over 10, I think we have the ability to handle at least 20 or 25 people, require a mask, and have them separated in our meeting room. I think the sooner we can get back to public meetings in person, I personally feel that's what we should be doing, and I'd like to get input from the other elected officials. Mr. Mahoney?
Well, I'm of all people, I'm still really busy with, I'm seeing people all day long. So I just for the sake of, if anybody's got any existing conditions, I would never forgive myself. I've taken multiple tests, but I would, it'd be situated. I'd feel really bad if something happened where I put somebody in a bad spot. So I'm okay with the way this has been, but I'll let the other two decide. It's fine with me.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Genuine?
I'm all for it.
For going back to public
Miss
meetings?
something not being together.
I think so too. And if you're not really opposed to it, Mr. Mahoney, I think I'd like to. I'm not sure we can. I would like Mr. Turner to check and see, because we could have over 10 people, but I think we could. I don't see any reason the staff would have to be there. I think Mr. Turner might be able to work it out, and I think we have enough in our room that we could easily handle 20 or 25 people. And if we required masks and kept people separated, I really think we'd be fine. What is your input, Mr. Simcoe?
Well, I think we should probably, maybe Oliver could look at the room and see how our spacing would be. I think one of the reasons that they have recommended, the governor, I think, has recommended these sorts of meetings is, let's assume we would have some issue and we have 30 people that show up, well, you would have to exclude some people from the meeting, and that, or maybe what we do is at a minimum we just wait for another like month and see kind of what September brings to us, and that. So I think we should probably be careful on this, and maybe talk to, Burrell or look at what the governor is saying, and maybe have the Oliver kind of see how the room would look if we marked off chairs where people can't sit, and then how many people we could actually really get in there. And
we could
and then
figure
maybe
that
give a
out
report
easy.
at the meeting. Yeah, well, we could look at it at our next meeting and see what we think, and then maybe we kind of look at what we might be doing October 1 type thing.
Well,
I'm
heard
kind of
that.
slow to move on that. Slow to move on this.
Well, I understand that, but I've also heard that city council is having their meetings in person, and they've got 7 council persons. They got the mayor. Maybe they don't have staff there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me, if you require a mask and if you limit the number of people at the meeting, we might, I don't know if we'd have to have a sergeant at arms or a police officer there. I mean, we certainly can't go over whatever our room can accommodate. But I feel like we should be trying to get back to open meetings again. That's just my own feeling. And it sounds like Mr. Genuine agrees. And I think, Mr. Simcoe, you're a little hesitant. And
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney, you're hesitant. Would it be all right to have Mr. Turner at least look into it and talk to somebody and see if we could use a mask and limit the number of people to what we can accommodate? That's what I'd like to do. I don't want to see 40 or 50 people there. We can't handle that. I know that.
Well,
But I also think it's important.
I think Oliver should look at it. I think it'd be good for Oliver to look into it. But I think, John, where you run into it, the difficulty is like you're saying, we can't accommodate 30 or 40 people, and then you're going to be turning people away from a public meeting. So I don't know, but we'd
almost have to, Dave,
looking into it. Yes.
I wouldn't want to turn people away. We'd almost have to adjourn and do a meeting by phone if we had an issue. But we normally don't have that, Dave.
Right, that's true.
My feeling is, you look back, we might have one issue a year where we get it overloaded, and we'd have to do that by phone. I'm not suggesting that we do anything to spread the virus, but I think sometimes we maybe overreact, and it's good, I think, to meet in person. We should be attempting to get back to that as soon as we can. That's my thought.
That's good by me, John.
If it's good, I'll have Mr. Turner look into it, and we'll get back to you and let you know for the next meeting. All right?
Sounds good. Thanks.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll adjourn at, let's see, 5:52.
Second.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. So calling the roll, Mr. Genuine,
Yep.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
Mr. Crandall.
Yes. Hey, thanks, everybody. Have
Good
a
night,
good
Jeff.
evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Aye.